friends, a very good evening. Today we are going to talk about generative AI and agent. So, generative AI, the buzzword, the trend of the industry. I'm not going to spend my time over to talk about what is generative AI, how does it work, because if you search in the internet, you can have millions of videos and links to study on what is generative AI. But in a very nutshell, in a small word, generative AI is a AI which capable of predicting your next step or your next action. Means if you are asking some question, it will give you the automatic answer of the question based on its knowledge. Or if you are having some important document that is very personal to you, like a company, any proprietary document of the company, like maybe a long PDF, you want a summarization of the particular PDF, you can upload the document and ask the generative AI to give a summarization report of that. Maybe you don't have the time to go over each and every lines of the PDF to understand that, but sometimes a summarization will help you. Another case could be, so there are multiple cases and multiple things can be done by the generative AI. So the possibilities are endless. You can find all the possibilities over the net also. So what is actually the agent? Okay, the agent is nothing but you can call it a helpful assistant, okay, which will facilitate, which will automate your work on behalf of you. Like say, if you are getting a lot of mail per day and flooding with the mail, and you want to isolate the mail as spam and push back to the spam folder to analyze the mail. So as a human being, just think how much time, how much effort it will take from you, to make those analyzations complete, make those email to the spam folder. Another example could be like that. So let's assume that you want to find a particular, you have a particular topic which you want to find some document of that, or want to create a some kind of documentation of the particular topic. So definitely you can fire up your web browser, you can type it on the Google, okay, or Wikipedia, you can visit several links. What if there is an agent sitting on your cloud environment, or in your home laptop? You just put the tag to the agent, send to the agent that I need an article based on this, and it will automatically go, because the agent has some inbuilt tool capabilities. Whenever we are developing some agent, we give it some kind of tool capability, so it can use those tools, do some automation. And when we talked about automation, it is not a rule, it is not a specific rule. There is a difference between rule and thinking. The purpose of agent is it will think as a human we think, or much better thought process than us. It will think, it will utilize the tool it had, the access it has, and will generate the content and give it back to you. So this is the intelligence, logical decision making power that is driving the agent. So today in this application, I built a small application based on few technologies. Number one, I am using the OpenAI as my large language model, LLM. I am using Streamlit to make this beautiful UI. I am using LangChain to communicate between the agent and the large language model. LangChain is a wrapper which facilitates writing the code very easily for us. So today I built this particular application. As you can see, the title is EDA with your file. What does it mean? It means that in today's world, for personal viewpoint or for organization viewpoint, whatever you took, data is the most crucial factor. Whenever we took some decision, the decision is the outcome of processed data. A CSV file can contain maybe 1,000, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 of rows, right? And maybe 10, 20, 50 columns over there. So if you want to make a decision, like, let's say that you are running a particular business, and you have with you for last 3 years data in a CSV file, and depending upon the volume of the business, you can understand how much the data can be. But suddenly you are saying that your business is getting down, so you want to find out, you want to analyze your data to find out any kind of correlationship between your sales target and your input values, like your geographic area, your age, your product, your cost. Is there any relationship between the sale, whatever you are selling, and others column? So it's all about finding the relationship between columns to understand the data more clearly. So the EDA stands for exploratory data analysis. So even if you don't take the example of an enterprise, just take a small example, like maybe you are running a very small business, or you have some data set, but you want to find the relationship between the columns, and you are using practically Excel to do that. How many of you are familiar with Excel, and how much? And that has a learning curve also, right? So to find the relationship between the columns, you need to understand the statistics also, like the mean, mode, median, interquartile distance. All the things will come into play, the correlations variables. So that is not easy to understand. So here I will do the data analysis by uploading a very famous file that's called the Titanic CSV, which captured the famous Titanic data, and I will do some practical question answer and some EDA with this particular file. Now this application, this is the URL of the application, and it is absolutely free for everyone. Anyone can come down over here. It is not at all chargeable, and browse this particular application. Only the catch to remember is that as we are using OpenAI as the LLM model behind the screen to communicate between the agent and the LLM, we need a OpenAI key to facilitate this process. So you need a OpenAPI key. So if you are familiar with OpenAI, or you are having a particular key with you, you can paste it over here. Or if you don't have a OpenAPI account for yourself, you can click over this link. It will redirect you to the OpenAI page, and where you can create your account and generate a key. And it has a very minimum small cost also, just to remember it. Okay. Now this link will take you to the OpenAI. This link will take you to the GitHub source code. I will come to this point later. Okay, let us do our thing first. So for now I am using my OpenAI account key over here. So let me paste it. Okay, now I have to browse the file or upload the data, right? So your file needed to be on the CSV format. Just remember, okay, I am uploading the Titanic dataset over here. as you see, the data has been uploaded, okay, and it is containing 891 rows and 12 columns in it. Okay, so passenger ID survived. Survived means those passengers, 1 means they are survived, 0 means they are not survived. Okay, this is the passenger ID. It's not useful at all for any kind of analysis, because a person is dying, whether he will die or he will survive, she will survive. Okay, does not depend upon the passenger ID or or the name. So this passenger ID and name is not useful at all for us. But really, if you want to find out any particular data with a particular name, then it becomes useful, but it is not essential for EDA at all. Okay, now P class, here is sex is male and female, age, okay, some age column are missing the values. Okay, so this is indicating whether the person who is on the Titanic having any sibling or not. 1 means yeah, 0 is not. Okay, 3 6 perch, ticket. So ticket is also not a mandatory condition for EDA analysis, because it does not have any effect. Okay, so fare, cabin, and embark. From where? The embark. So let us, so we have uploaded this particular CSV file over here. Okay, now we are going to ask the agent particular question. The agent is already having few tools with him, that where he can analyze the data, and if he found some answer or if he needs some modification, he will talk to the LLM and the LLM will respond it back. Okay, so I can talk about in another video about the detailed architecture, how they are communicating to each other, maybe with a graphical interface also. But today is not the day when I am going to deep dive how they are communicating to each other. Okay, it's a very small simple demo application. If you are interested, let me know. I can talk more on code and the architectural overview also in my incoming videos. So let us submit our few simple questions first. Let's see, is there any missing value? So now, so great. Okay, so as you see, we having 891 columns over there. Just think, okay, how fast it is to give you the answer. If you are having this particular CSV file, then you can filter the data by Excel, but it will take you some time. Number one. Okay, number two, even for a data scientists who know the statistics, who know how the Python works, who know the Iron Python notebooks, Jupyter notebooks, he can just take the CSV file and analyze over there. Okay, but again, he need to write some formulas. The beauty of this agent is that if I show you over here that whenever we are asking some question to it, okay, he is thinking like a human. Okay, let me show you another example over here. What is the average age? I am putting this question. Okay, I am replacing this question with this, and I am just hitting enter. Now he is trying to think, and he put the answer over here as 29.70 years. So he is calculating very fast. Let's give it some question that will take some time for a human, even for a data scientist, to write the formula and do all the stuff. So this is all about clever thinking automations, right? So let's see. can you show us the correlation, sorry for the spelling mistake, of now he is thinking how to do it. So as we talked about, let us give, so we are having one particular column called fair over here. Okay, so I'm interested to know what could be the strong correlationship with other column. Means, is there any driving factor for the fair? So if you know statistics, you will understand that correlation, correlation variable can have a value between -1 to +1. So any value near to 0 shows that there is a less possibility of a correlation, but any value 10 to 1, that means it can be tending to +1, it can be tending to -1, shows a very strong relationship between columns or data. So positive correlations means if the value of x is getting increased, then obviously it will increase the value of y, and negative correlation towards -1 means vice versa. One get up, one got down. So that's the definition of the correlation in a very nutshell. So now if I ask, I'm interested, so find the strong correlation with fair. Let's see what kind of response we are getting from our agent and our GenAI with this particular Titanic dataset. So exactly what we are going to do, we are trying to find out, is there in this dataset, what are the columns, those are the driving factor towards the fair. Okay, so as you see, now P class is 0.5, survive is getting 2.1. okay, so the strongest correlationship it is finding with the fair is the P class, obviously, because P class is the denotion, it denotes actually the price of a ticket. Okay, so obviously this P class will have a very strong correlation with the fare, definitely. And passenger ID, as I told you, that does not mean anything actually in this particular data set. So it has a less, very less correlationship, and it is very much less. Actually, it's very near to 0, right? As you say, 0.012. Okay, and age also is a second best correlationship with the fare. So it is very easy to find the correlationship with the fare. So ultimately the bottom line is that P class data is affecting the fare in a way. So, and the relationship is a positive correlationship. So another example could be like that. If you want to know about more about the data, so as you see, as I told you, survived. So there are survival chances. Okay, it's a probability. Okay, so let formulate a question. Is that I'm just typing the question. I want to know what is the survival chance of a female passenger having an age more than 50 who was traveling to this particular Titanic. Let's see. You see, the survival chance of a female passenger with an age greater than 50 years is actually approximately 99.12%. It's a very high chance that anyone who is a female and having a age more than 50 years has a high chance, very high chance for a survival. Now see, similar question, I am changing the gender to male right now. See, the male having the same age, more than 50, has very less of survival. And if you know the history of the Titanic, it really denotes that. Now, I'm asking a very different question to it. I want to know in this particular data set, is there any kind of missing values are there? As you see, age is having 177 missing values. Cabin, maximum cabin information are missing over here, and embark has only 2 missing data. And now I will try to fire another question. What is the meaning of column embark? See, now the fantastic part. If you see the data set, it's already embark SQC. So SQC can mean anything, right? But the LLM, large language model, is intelligent enough to understand this is a dataset of Titanic, and exactly S means Sam transform from. What is the meaning of S? Southampton, Queenstown, and Sherbrooke. Okay, so how intelligent it is that even in this particular dataset we never mention what A stands for, what Q stands for, what C stands for. It immediately predicts what's the meaning of this. And what is the meaning of embark? It indicates the location where the passenger onboarded in Titanic. And it says the possible values columns are this. So this particular information is not present only in present of in sense in capital, the first letter S, C and Q. It immediately tells us the possibility of C is mean this, Q is this and S is this. This is where the power of the generative AI or large language model LLM comes into the picture. You can come over here, you can upload your own dataset and ask the LLM about any questions. Now we have a separate tab for let's do some graphical analysis first, or we should be on ADA tab. Okay, fine. So we have the numeric column, so obviously you have to understand we have to give a numeric column over here. So I am having age. Let's understand what kind of EDA analysis it is capable of doing when it is analyzing the above age column, right? And if you remember, age having a missing value of 27 or something like that, it was given by the AI. So we are having around 850 columns over here, and he is trying to analyze the data for the EDA calculation, and he is generating the response. So it is getting the response. As you see, it completes its analysis. As you see, it completes analysis. And I will come to this little window afterwards. Just focus on this thing first, that it does the EDA on the age, and it is giving you the mean, median, mode, standard deviations, variance, range, skewness. So it's a lot of information, and it is also writing its analysis. Okay, and also it is giving that it has 177 missing values. So as you see in this age column, okay, the mean is 29.70, okay, and the median is 28. Variance is very high. Okay, so all the information is being given and captured over here. Now if you just want to see a graphical representation of the same, you just go to the EDA graph, put the age column over here and press enter. As you see, this is the scatter plot of the age. Okay, and this is the histogram distribution of the column age. Now you see the density is around over here, around 28 years of range, and the skewness goes very long at the very last, because there are some passengers who are much more in the age. Okay, and the same thing you can find in the scatter plot also, because as you see there is a one person whose age is 80, one person is 74. Okay, and lot more denser in this region. It is much denser, around 30 to 20. Much denser population is showing here, and the same representation you can find. As you see, this is the region. If you take this region, it is 20 to 30, 40 around. This is the maximum data is being captured over here, maximum data points. Now the very last part, generate. What exactly we are going to do over here in this generate? Remember that when you come to this particular generate tab, okay, you need to put the question in this format. Okay, so I want to filter out the data based on this and take it on a particular separate CSV file. I just applied the logic. So as we talked about, so I'm giving my query over here. I'm asking the agent, the GenAI, to filter the data from this dataset to this particular dataset. So as you see, it has filtered the data, and the finest part is that now I can download this particular data as CSV file over here also. So this is the example of EDA data analysis, and of course you can upload your file to test the application. You just need to remove this whatever you have uploaded, and you can try with other data also. Oh no, I have the world data with me, world index data. It has 195 rows, 35 columns in it. As you see, country, density, etc. is there. So obviously you can upload your own data and ask some kind of analysis. So density, as you see, this is the density. So we can ask the GenAI, what is the most dense country? Let's see how it generates a response to us. Hope it will give the answer. Yep. So Malaysia, as you see, is the, according to the density, is the most dense. So why it is saying me so? Let's go to the record of Malaysia. Where is that? LM. Okay, here is Malaysia. As you see, density is 99%. Okay. So this is a very quick and small demo for you, and as I told you, if you want to see the code, so this is under the Git. You just need to click this particular icon. It will take you to the Git, and of course under the pages, this is the Python main page from where it is being served, the application is being served, and codes are fairly simple. I have written fairly simple code. Only what I have done over here is that this is a Streamlit application. I am giving all the Streamlit code over here, and if you move back to there are two particular class file in Python, my AI and my EDA helper. So it's just a separation of concern, as you have understood, that I am separating the code from the design, so it does not get messy and error prone also, just to avoid the factors. So this is the class of giving my AI model back to me. So I am setting the temperature of AI to 0, because the reason behind is that 0 means it is not going to be creative at all. Okay, because we are doing the EDA of our data, so we don't want the creativity or separate thinking of the AI over here, right? So we want a precise result. So that is why I'm setting the temperature to 0. If the temperature get increased, it become more creative in nature. Now here I have defined few method. This is where my LLM model is getting defined by the API key that I am supplying for the user interface. Now this method get agent executor is actually giving me back the agent. Okay, and as Python is not strongly typecast, so I'm just casting the, this is the main agent, create panda data frame agent. It's give you the out of box agent based on the panda, which can do the analytical work. If you are familiar with Python or statistics, you know how much panda is helpful to analyze the records in Python environment. So it is giving me the agent. This particular create panda agent is coming from this particular LangChain experimental agent. I'm importing this particular class over here. Okay, so as I say, it is depend on LangChain. So it will give you the agent back to you. The agent, this is the main thing. It's not agent, rather agent executor. Okay, anyway, so it will execute the agent, talk to the LLM, because how it is talking to the LLM, because whenever we are creating the agent, create panda data agent, we need to specify one particular LLM model in its constructor. So here we are defining the model. So the model is getting the value, it's chat OpenAI. It is being defined over here, var was equal to true, and agent type I'm using the OpenAI tools over here. Okay, and I'm handling the error also. So this particular statement will create the agent executor and give us return back to the user interface. Now how I'm using this particular thing to the user interface, let me show you that also. I have to go this particular Python page, okay, or Python class, whatever you say. Okay, so as you see here in the sidebar of Streamlit, actually we are getting the OpenAI key that is given by the user. Now we are using the OpenAI key to create a object of this particular class. Okay, my AI, and now my AI, if you do not give you the particular LLM keys over here, it will show as exception, and it will give you the warning also. But if it is successfully, then you are using LLM model, this one. I hope you have seen that also, because it is giving here you are using the LLM ChatGPT 3.5 Turbo. I am using this model because I have this particular account with me. Okay, so after creating, so it is creating the LLM or my AI class object over here. It will give us the agent also back to us. So here, whenever we are uploading a particular file and the API key is giving, I'm calling the get agent executor and supplying the data frame, because the agent will need the data frame to analyze actually. So I'm getting the agent executor back to me. Okay, so after getting this agent executor, this particular my AI.python file stops over here. It does not have any functionality. Now I have another class that's called my EDI helper.py. Okay, and in this class, as you see in the constructor, I am passing the agent. Okay, now I'm setting the agent into my EDI helper because it will do the EDI analysis. Okay, so now here I have defined a method FNC EDA. So in the second tab, it is being called actually for the EDI analysis. Okay, and you see this is one particular method, you can call it this way, or there are separate method for the analytical purpose. Okay, and this is the data where is being modified when it is returning as a data frame. This is the method of FNC modify data, and this is for, let me go to the EDA.py file to give you a better understanding what is happening. So if you see side by side, this is the one tab, second tab, third tab, fourth tab. We are having 4 tab over here. Okay, so if you come down over here, this is the 4th tab is being defined over here. Okay, in the tab 1, what is happening is getting the question from the user. Okay, and then if the agent executor is being present over here, then it is getting the my EDA helper. Okay, now this EDA helper is calling this FNC keyway. So this FNC keyway, if I copy this method and search over here, as you see, this is being defined over here, FNC keyway. It's just get the question from the user and ask the agent to run it, okay, and give the result back to the user interface, whoever the caller is. Here the caller is this one, right, in the first tab. Okay, similarly in the tab 2, where we are doing the EDA analysis, we are getting the agent executor. Okay, let's say we are validating whether agent executor is valid or not. Then with the agent executor, we are getting the EDA helper class back. Okay, and then we are firing the FNC EDA from here. Okay, and as expected, the FNC EDA is being defined in the my helper class. Okay, so you see, this is the FNC EDA. Okay, it is calling all the these particular methods and getting the submission back to it. Okay, now if I move back to the third tab, this is the second tab. Okay, for EDA analysis. This is the third tab where the graphical, means the scatter plot and the histogram is being generated over here. So as you see, this particular framework, this Streamlit has inbuilt capability to define charts over here. Okay, so I just abstracted all the graph functionality to FNC graph, and if I search you show you the FNC graph, I can go over here. So this is the FNC graph where Streamlit, we are creating the scatter shade by the Streamlit, and we are creating the histogram portlet chart. Okay, so Dix plot means the distribution, it's a kind of histogram that is being shown over here. Okay, so this is the FNC graph functionality. Now if I move back to the fourth tab, the very last one, as you see here, what is happening over here, that we are getting the question from the user. So I'm just talking about this tab, generate tab. Okay, so as you see, this is the generate tab. We are getting the question from the user first. Okay, now what exactly is happening, that here we are again calling the EDA helper class FNC modified data. Okay, so now this FNC modified data is also present over here as expected. Okay, here this is the FNC modified data, and this is the raw. It's the extra method that if you want to return the raw string, then it will return back to you the raw string. Else FNC modified data, it will capture the raw string and it will convert the response to a Python data frame, and it will return back to the caller. So in case who is the caller, it's our this particular master file or tab 4. We are calling this particular method. We are getting, I'm again typecasting to find the data frame. As I told you that Python is not strongly typecasted language. If you are familiar with strong OOPS language like C#, Java, you will understand this problem, because strong casting is needed to prove just to safeguard you from the errors. Okay, so that's a very different topic altogether. The compiler versus the interpreter, those are very different things. Maybe I can discuss on a separate video that what is the difference between the compiler and the interpreter. Anyway, so for now, again I'm typecasting this particular variable read val as panda data frame. Now with this I'm printing the panda data frame, okay, st.write, okay, and I'm getting the shape, total row column count, it is on the shape. So that is the total working of this file. And one more thing, that you can download this Git repository, you can contribute if you want to also, you're welcome. And if you are downloading, let's say you are downloading on your laptop, so just run pip requirement.txt, so it will install all the dependency classes and whatever is being needed to run this particular application. It's all defined over here. You just have to run the command pip install requirement.txt. okay, that's it. So I hope I have clearly explained the code, but if you want to know more, just put a message. I will try to reply back as fast as possible for me. So with that, this is our ADA application. I will strongly encourage each of you to come forward, browse the particular URL. It's absolutely free. It does not want any kind of authentication. I can show you also in a separate incognito tab also that it does not require any kind of authentication. It is going to be open in a flash, not an issue. So Streamlit is a fantastic framework to prototype your application. If you want to firstly very first, if you want to develop your UI, want to deploy it, want to prototype it, want to show the world, Streamlit is absolutely fantastic framework for that. Highly recommended from my side. So this is completely free. As you see in the incognito mode, it has opened up. It does not take us to the login page or anything. It is anonymous by nature. It does not require any kind of authentication authorizations at all. So it's a free application, complete free application. Only the catch is that you need to provide your OpenAI key over here. That's it. So thanks friend for watching the video. If you like, please do subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, share the video as much as possible for you. It will definitely encourage me for the next video. Thanks. Have a nice weekend.